If you haven't heard already, there are massive changes coming on June 27th that have the potential to completely change the way you play Guild Wars 2. ArenaNet released a preview of the upcoming balance patch on the official forums. The notes themselves are quite lengthy, so in this video series, I'm going to go over the changes to every class, give you my thoughts on how they may affect the meta, as well as talk about new builds that may emerge as a result. At the end of the video, let me know what you think about the changes in the comments below. Alright, so Scourge changes now, or I guess Necro in general. They're buffing. Okay, so this is the heal well. Now it gives regeneration every pulse. So that's a buff. The regen's not overly impactful. This is a cool skill. I don't know if they're making it so that the movement speed is baseline. So this is like the blood magic trait, the dagger one. I'm pretty sure they're keeping the movement speed on it, hopefully. And then instead of having extra CDR in it, like then you get this one where you get life force when you strike an enemy with a dagger skill. Dagger's actually not even a bad weapon. I think it's a good like utility kind of like self-sustain weapon, but having it give you extra life force right now is pretty good. This might be nice to help like Necros keep themselves alive. Obviously, it's really hard to justify dropping like staff or scepter on like, let's say like Condi Necro builds, right? Maybe it could be used for a power Necro build, but the sustain on it would have to be really high for you to drop like any of the other weapons for it. This skill is interesting. So Life Siphon, they made it kind of function like Focus 4 on Guardian, where it's like you just cast it once and then you just kind of get the full effect and you can do other things. So this one's pretty interesting. You don't have to channel it anymore. Overall, like a pretty good sustain and overall quality of life buff for Dagger 2. These are like Warhorn. So this is the trait where it's like when you leave Death Shroud, currently it heals nearby allies and revives nearby enemies in downstate. Not like completely, but it'll give them like some downstate HP. Increasing outgoing healing is fine. I think like maybe you'll see some more supportive Scourge builds. We'll have to see, I guess, what people run after the patch. Banshee's Wail is the Warhorn trait. No longer grants increases outgoing healing. That's fine. I don't think that really affects that much. So this one's interesting now. So Transfusion now only teleports down to allies when you initially activate it. So it won't like continue to pull them. It's a nerf to PvP. But yeah, I mean, it's just a straight nerf to PvP. No one really took Transfusion anyways, but when people did take it, it was very strong. So they also nerfed Condi Reaper quite heavily, and I'm actually okay with these changes. So Unholy Feast is the Axe 3, I believe. It no longer converts boons and conditions, and now just removes boons instead. Spiteful Spirit is the bottom Grandmaster in Spites, where it's when you entered Shroud, it would cast I think it's like Lesser Unholy Feast or whatever. Now it only removes conditions, or removes boons instead of converting them into conditions, which is nice, considering the current version of it means that anytime the Condi Reaper enters Shroud, you just get instantly corrupted. Like there's nothing to dodge, right? So having it be, I guess, be like an instant boon removal instead of boon corrupt is definitely nice. Reduces some of the damage output they have, or just like cover Condis they can apply. Devouring Darkness, this is the traded Scepter 3, I believe. So when you take like the Scepter trait in Curses, I guess they're just increasing the cooldown. Maybe it was too strong in World vs. World. Enfeebling Blood, this is the offhand Dagger 5. So it no longer converts boons and conditions. That is quite interesting. I think people may not take offhand Dagger after the patch. Like this is a huge nerf to the skill. It was really good for like a boon corrupt. And you could see it coming down too. So it's not like it would hit you instantly. I don't know if I agree with this change. I guess it's fine though. And then Lesser Enfeeble no longer converts boons into conditions as well. So when you enter Shroud, when you take like I think it's the is it top curses? I think it's the top curses. Sure, let me see. Yeah, when you take the top curses, now you get like the bleed and the weakness and stuff, but you don't get the boon corrupt. So overall, like these are like pretty big. These are pretty big nerfs to Condi Reaper. So I guess maybe they're trying to shift more of the boon removal into signets. So maybe you can take like signets now and signets of suffering, and then drop like chill of death. So I actually think we might see some utility shifts for let's say like Condi Reaper, Condi Nectar in general, which is interesting. I am very hungry, so let's finish up these patch notes and then I'll go grab some food. Okay, so Desert Empowerment. This is the top master trait for Scourge. It's now replacing Feet of Corruption, but I don't know if they added in a new trait to replace it, right? Because like, is it swapping positions with Feet of Corruption? They said replacing. So I don't know if they're swapping it or or they're just completely removing Feet from Corruption. I'm actually kind of excited to see some Scourge being played. Hopefully the barrier numbers aren't too high like they were back in the day, but I mean Scourge was fun. I did like the guard Scourge team fight. I thought it was cool. Baseline reduction to like Trail of Anguish is fine. This is like the stun break that gives you stability. Yeah, pretty decent changes to Scourge here. So Harbinger's getting baseline cooldown reduction on the elixirs, and I feel like that's really strong. Like that is super good. I mean, people took the elixir trait mostly for the cooldown reduction. They weren't really taking it for the vulnerability, although the vulnerability was kind of just like an added bonus. So people are probably going to go like the damage adept traits in Harbinger now, which will actually increase their damage output quite significantly. So we'll see how that plays out for both Power and Condi Harb. And that's it for the Necro changes. If you want to see the changes for the other light armor professions, click on one of these two links here. And if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.